Dying Reborn got me hooked from the very start with its PS Store description. Dark horror themed puzzle game, gritty immersive experience, fans of movie series such as Saw need to look no further. Sounds perfect. Unfortunately though, all it turned out to be was a series of interesting puzzles, a very, very loose narrative, and some hilarious voice acting.
Oh, my head. What a headache. What the hell is that? It smells horrible. I think I'm gonna be sick.
So let's begin by getting the Saw comparisons out of the way. You play as Mathew, you wake up in an abandoned hotel not knowing how you got there, and you're treated to a series of games that you need to pass in order to progress. Here, rather than grisly traps that make you put a price on life, you have to solve puzzles to escape the room. Oh, and there's a madman who talks to you via television sets and wears an animal mask. And what animal, I hear you ask? A fish.
It's a fish head, Kev. Kev's gonna punch in on Dying Reborn, which is just a fucking floating fish head. You can see it right there. It's a fish head. Dying Reborn. But it's PlayStation VR, so hey, cool.
Yeah, not really the creepiest animal out there, but kind of weird, I guess. Anyway, the highlight of the game were the puzzles. They were at just the right level of difficulty to provide a challenge, but not get too frustrating. I'll admit that on a couple of occasions I did get stuck, but just before reaching for a guidebook, I managed to figure out what I was supposed to do. Except for this one puzzle where I had to find a 5-digit passcode, and by some miracle I just randomly guessed it. I'm still not quite sure how I did that, and seeing as how it's a 1 in 100,000 chance, it was a pretty big fluke.
Why did I just walk out of the ladies' room?
Each of the rooms had a creepy feeling to them, and while the game did try to throw the odd jump scare at you, it was more about the atmosphere and the strange visuals that added some horror to the game. The abandoned hotel setting felt believable and came with some mystery about its history. Why was this place abandoned? What happened here? Unfortunately, Fishhead's speeches did nothing to add to this tension, nothing like Jigsaw's eerie, gravelly voice.
I guide the puny, the weak, and the wretched like yourself to a new world. Are you prepared to receive my gifts?
What are you talking about?
The game can be played in VR mode, however, this does require the purchase of a different version of the game, so be careful which one you get. And I believe that the VR version only contains 3 levels, whereas the normal version has 6, which I think is a little disappointing. I'm still interested in eventually getting VR, especially to go back and play Resident Evil 7, because I've gotten to know the Baker House so well after the last few months, that it will be fun to actually go there and feel like I'm exploring it for real. But the thought of having to buy another version of Dying Reborn, and even then only getting half of the game, doesn't really seem worth it to me. If you're looking for a really good escape the room game, then check out the awesome Zero Escape series. I've had the fortune of playing both Virtue's Last Reward and Zero Time Dilemma, and both of these come with a great story and a really ingenious game mechanic that is definitely worth your time. Unfortunately, probably a lot more so than Dying Reborn is. If you have played this game though, or you do decide to check it out, then let me know what you think of it. Next time I'm going to be having a look at a side-scrolling platformer, so until then, thanks for watching.